Hmm. Well, hello again, and welcome to today's Powerboost Meditation. My name is Ananta, and as always, we select something very careful for you to consider and make use of in your daily challenges. So today we're going to talk about will and determination. In many of our programs, we familiarize you with the powers inherent to the soul and how you can make use of them. We dwell mostly on what we consider the essential ones, and they number around 8 or so. And what I'm going to talk about today is not part of that program, but it's 2 that are very essential to our daily lives and ensuring that the choices that we make are the right ones, and also that we live up to the expectations of these 2 particular powers. And as I mentioned, they are will and determination. So if we could define will, which we're familiar with, everyone is familiar with willpower. So if we were to define that, we might define will as being decisive and resolute, decisive and resolute. And determination, we can define that as being unstoppable, allowing nothing to get in your way. So these 2 powers are related, but they're not the same. And they're related in such a way that unless you use both of them, you don't usually have the outcome that you desire or that you intend, because we confuse the 2. And usually what happens is that we exercise the will, but the determination is what you need to carry that out. And so they are very related. This is why so often, especially at the end of the year and the beginning of the new year, or as often as people sometimes do, they make decisions and then fail to carry them out. And so we enthusiastically make resolutions or decisions about things we feel that we have to do and we're very decisive about. And then what happens is that those things don't get done. And that's because we use our will and we're decisive about what we need to do, but we don't bring into the equation the necessary determination to get it done. So a good way to understand the relationship is that will is deciding what to do. And that comes very easily sometimes. Well, what you need is the determination to do what you decide. And that is usually what's lacking. And this is why there is this gap between what we say we are going to do and what we actually do. It's the same kind of relationship that you have let's say, between sincerity and integrity. More often than not, we make promises that we're not able to keep. And of course, we wouldn't think of sincerity and integrity as powers, but they are principles that we want to live by. And so you would find that someone is really sincere when they say to you, I am going to meet you at this particular place and at this particular time. And then when that day comes or that time comes, they fail to show up, or they fail to do what they sincerely said that they would do. And sincerity really is saying they mean it. They really are sincere when they say, well, this money that I borrowed from you, I will return to you on Friday. And then that doesn't happen because the integrity isn't there to do what they say. So that's the same kind of relationship that we're talking about. So in today's Powerboost meditation, what we're bringing to your attention is this gap that exists between those two things. And if you are one of those who, more often than you would care to admit, find yourself making resolutions, promising to clean the garage or the trunk of the car or rearrange your closet, and it never gets done, then what you are lacking is that determination. And there are ways to increase the power of your will and as well increase the power of your determination. There's ways to make those things stronger. And so the point today is to note this gap and start to do the things that will empower you, that will strengthen that power. And one way to strengthen your will, if there is a lack of that will making itself manifest, if you're the kind of person that puts things off and maybe even referred to as a procrastinator, the way to strengthen your will is to be decisive. And what I mean by that is that you don't want to put off decisions that you make. You should make sure that you follow up on them. And this is not only with regard to decisions that you make based on maybe promises that you make to others, but also with regard to yourself. So if you have a lot of loose ends, you want to start tying those up, and you would actually find that you would increase your will that way, so that you can do every day of your life. There are so many things that you have that are unfinished. So your unfinished business you should attend to, and that would increase your will. Now, with your determination, the way to increase that is to keep your word. So if you want to become more determined, you want to do what you say. You want to keep your word. And that means keeping your word, as I was alluding to earlier, not only to others, but to yourself. And so if you have decided that tomorrow is the day that you are going to remove all of the debris that's under the stairway, it's a commitment that you've made, but you haven't made it to anyone else. You've made it to you. You want to keep that, and that will increase your determination. And so those two things work together. And so as we look ahead not only today, but for the remainder of our time, whether that is with regard to the work you're doing right now or to the week that you have planned. You can increase the amount of power that you're able to exercise by working on those two things and making sure that you close the gap between them. And it will increase your level of comfort about who you are and your own integrity. And it will allow then for you to have that raising of that self-esteem and self-assurance and self-respect. And so this is a practice that you want to put into effect right away. And you will have immediate opportunities. Whenever you listen to this, moments after, you will have an opportunity to keep your word to yourself. And of course, that will make you more determined. You will have an opportunity to carry out that resolution that you made. It may not be something that you consider very important, but it really doesn't matter. All of these small loose ends, you want to begin to tie up, and that will increase your decisiveness and increase your will and keep your word, whatever word you give. Or if you cannot keep a particular agreement for any reason, then you should make a new agreement. It's okay to tell the person that you had made a commitment to that whatever situation has gotten in the way, that isn't going to permit you to meet them at that particular time or to deliver the promise that you've made, and you make a new agreement. And so this, again, allows you to have that peace of mind. You know, we go through the day, we go through life, not really being sure why we're feeling the way we're feeling. We're somehow out of sorts. And of course, what is keeping us out of sorts is that we are not obeying the very laws, and these are laws, as I mentioned before in another conversation with you, that allow for the kind of equilibrium, that allow for that kind of balance that you want to have. And of course, most important of all, your peace of mind. And so today we especially want to alert you to the relationship between your will and your determination, how to actually increase your will, how to grow your will, how to grow your determination, and how to close the gap between what you say and what you do, what you promise and what you keep, what you decide and what you carry out. Again, understand there is deciding what to do, and then there is doing what you decide. And so let's, for the next few minutes, sit with that understanding and allow yourself to be okay with the way things are at the moment. So this is not an opportunity then for you to make yourself wrong or for you to feel bad about any of the things that you would like to do that you haven't done, but that you understand now what may have been missing, and you begin right this moment to note where you have loose ends, even if it's a phone call, even if it's a promise that you made lightly, even if it's a situation that you feel is very, very difficult. You need to confront all of those areas where you can then begin to get that balance back in your life and to remove all of the feelings of discomfort and all of the places where you don't feel that assurance. And so let's go within. Allow yourself to be at peace. Allow yourself to be forgiving, especially of yourself, and of course, for others. And know that all is well. You can correct every situation. You can enhance and strengthen every weakness. These powers that we're talking about are not powers that you need to acquire. These powers are inherent in the soul. And it is there that with these moments of silence and quiet, that you can emerge these principles and live by them moment by moment. And it allows you to stay in the present. So you don't have to avoid the present. You can be with it and be fully available, fully alive, fully alert. So make today the day you merge that gap and you strengthen these powers within. Make time every day for these moments of clarity, these moments of peace, these moments of understanding. Be merciful to yourself. Be accommodating to your weaknesses until you can overcome them. Accommodating, not in the sense that you indulge them, but that you become aware of them and you work towards having them go in a new direction and having your direction change. And remember, all is well. All is well. Om Shanti.